Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Karen Sims here. We'll be sharing this on Twisted Threads. Good morning to everybody. Facebook, YouTube, probably going to be on there too. Wanted to get on real quick today. I promise real quick today because I know how my schedule is sometimes. But I know many folks, some of you may come in and be able to watch now, but I know a lot of you come in during the day and figure out, when you could press play to get these videos. So thanks so much for your support. Thanks so much for sharing. If you are one of those ones who are in kind of the wings, not doing anything, I need you to do something. Share the messages, listen to them, see what impacts you, and give some comment and feedback as well. But wanted to get on here, you know how I always do. Try to keep my titles catchy or something that'd be like, what's she talking about? Well, today we're talking about being under the influence. And so Thursdays we usually launch new videos, and we got so many that are recorded. I'm grateful because we've recorded probably over about 70 videos. Yes, your girl is working. And the challenge with kind of some of the messages is like, okay, when do we put them out? Who is this message for? Well, Under the Influence is definitely for you. If you press play, if you are at any portion in your life, it really doesn't matter. If you're at the end of a thing, if you're at the beginning of the thing, if you've just been sitting in a corner waiting for anything to happen, I want to talk about you being under the influence and whose influence you're under. One of the challenges for probably I'll say my parents is that as I grew up, we had many rules, and it was like you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that. And my dad being a pastor, our rules were, man, look, it was a lot of them. That's all we're gonna say. But the challenge for them was I didn't really always do well with rules. It was like, okay, and here's the protocol of what you need to do. And so when we're children, we're under the influence of our parents. But many of the folks who are on my page are adults. Y'all should be grown. That means y'all paying your own bills. Y'all living, y'all spots. Whatever your situation is, you have the opportunity to create influence versus being under the influence of somebody else. But one of the problems that we have as adults is because we've been so conditioned to listen to somebody. Maybe it's a boss. Many of us are not self-employed, but we know how to get that side hustle on. And that gives us an opportunity to be like, okay, from 9 to 5, I'm under the influence of whoever my boss is. But look, at 5:01, I'm under my own influence. And so it becomes important for us to figure out who we are listening to. Are we listening to the things that we really know we should be doing, and then we become the controllers of the influence in our life? We're listening and following the path that we want for ourselves. And sometimes it could be a spouse. Sometimes y'all got it twisted and y'all listening to your children. Look, we all can learn from somebody. God does not have a vessel that is alive and breathing that he cannot use to influence our lives. But we do have to check where the influence is taking us, what direction we're trying to go into, and understand that although we're making decisions in our life, we got to think about the impact that our decisions have on other people around us. Even my decision to come on now, I had to press the go live button versus, eating what's in my kitchen, although I'm sure that'll work out well. But when we talk about being under the influence and understanding that sometimes it's religion that keeps us under the influence of wrong. And I love it because one of my, I'll say mothers and mentors, Pastor Veronica Horn, she would always talk about stinking thinking. And stinking thinking causes us to stay in places, having funky attitudes, and sometimes not living our best life. That's our thing now. We always get a coin phrase to go. So we all trying to live our best lives. And a lot of times, if we are under the influence of somebody else, whether we're still following the teachings of our parents or our pastors, without question, I think that we have an opportunity to, as the Bible tells us, to study the word, to show yourself approved. Like it's to prove it to yourself. Somebody else could tell you, hey, look, 1 + 1 = 2. But if you haven't really experienced the understanding of where did they get that from, where did one come from, then you're just going to be following and being under the influence. If you believe that, and I'll say this, and I probably will offend somebody. You welcome. If you are more focused on religion versus relationship when it comes to your religious aspirations and what you believe in, chances are you're doing it wrong. Now, when I say under the influence, is because I'm in a time in my life that 85% of my life is dictated by what I want to do and when I want to do it. 85%. 15%, I mean, they pay me to do some things at that job, but y'all already know how it goes. I try to conform, and then, I get a rash and stuff, and that don't really work for me. But they allow me the opportunity to kind of expand, and they let me ask the hard questions. Why? Because I remember when I didn't have a voice. And so the whole purpose of me coming on here, as I said, quickly, because I got things to do, y'all. I got places to be and places to go. But the requirement for me was I had to get from under the influence of other people. And so one of the things that people do when you're under the influence, if you're wondering if you're under the influence, sometimes they try to make you feel too comfortable. Sometimes they will try to diminish what you're doing. I had somebody poor thing, she ain't know. It's all right though. But she came for me kind of low key, and it was like, oh, I see you do these little videos. And it was like, no, ma'am. This is a business. This is a passion. And so then when I start having to qualify myself, I'm not going to say that I get uncomfortable with it, but in most circles that I go into, who you see is who you know. It's not really a big deal. It just is, I present myself as who I am at all times. So, most people know I'm about my business. I'm really needing to get down to the nitty gritty. I love to have fun. I love to love people, because once upon a time, I didn't know what real love felt like. And now that I know what it is, it's now the time that I get to be under the influence of joy. I get to be under the influence of love. I get to be under the influence of confidence. I get to be under the influence of what's God's plan for me. And you know what's crazy? His plan is bigger than anything that I could have ever thought for myself. But as he gives me a glimpse, I get more excited about all of the people who are going to be impacted. I love it because one of my my only makeup artist, but one of my true sisters, and she's like a baby sister to me. I love her. And she's like, ooh, Karen, people are sleeping on you. She's like, I can't wait till you blow up, because they're going to be like, where'd she come from? Look, y'all better press this video and know we've been doing this for a while. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because it could have cost me my life if I didn't find love within myself. It could have cost me my life if I stayed under the influence of other people and not understanding. Look, it could cost you your life if you don't make the decision to open your mouth, to use your pen, to use the area that God is giving you a space. Maybe my territory seems bigger than yours, but all I did was stretch. And so I admonish you all today, there are lives at stake. We see people committing suicide, and I owe you one. We even now, because I owe you an offering for that other video this morning, Keita. Look, it is so very important that we share love in this world. All we see every single day is hate. I love it because I know a lot of you. I have a multicultural following on Facebook, and I don't call you fans. Y'all my family, because I don't just let everybody in. There's a lot of crazy people. But when it comes to understanding what's going on in the world, you probably have seen me post a lot about the When They See Us, and I'm going to call it kind of a fictional docuseries, so that you could get a glimpse into why we are so passionate about our black and brown boys, and why it's important for us to save a life. Look, because for years, when that incident happened, it was 30 years ago. And I know it's 30 years because it was the year that my daughter was born, and it was probably about 6 weeks. So I was still home watching TV and, trying to do homework. I don't know what I was doing, but 30 years ago, this was happening, and still is happening now. And the voices that are coming out, you may have disqualified your voice because you said the time has passed. God didn't say so. And look, I ain't come on here to preach. I ain't come on here to do none of this. I just knew that it dropped in my spirit. Those of you who are under the influence, you need to check who is influencing you and figure out how you take some of that control back. Now, look, here's what happens. If you are spiritually minded, kingdom driven, the influence that you take back, you will give back to God and be like, all right, Lord, here's my little, make it much, and that's how it works. Like literally, all I need to do is activate the faith and do what? Trust him, Keita. What? Because everything that he said is true. The promises are still intact. Nothing got missing. Nothing is delayed. Everything will be delivered to you on time. But here's the biggest part of being under the influence. Being under the influence, you disqualify the skills and the talents and the gifts that you already have. Everything that you need to be the greatest mother to your children, you already have. Everything that you need to be the best wife to the husband that you currently have, or to the one he's sending. Woo, I felt that. Send him Jesus. You already have whatever it is. And some of you, stop putting yourself on sale. Full price is what the cost is. It costs you full price for every tear that you cried. It costs you full price for them stretch marks that you had for them children. It costs you full price for those nights that you had to stay up and study for that degree that you have. So don't you dare let somebody diminish you. And sometimes you have to understand that it may not be your employer that will pay you more. It may be another opportunity. So open your mind and do not stagnate yourself to the thought that traditional is the way that you go. There is nothing traditional about my life. Look, when I go to the doctor, when I meet different people, I say, look, whatever's on the side effect list, understand this. I'm going to get all of that and I'm going to create some new stuff. So if you're looking for a study or a research, I'm your girl. Why? Because caffeine puts me to sleep. It don't make me wake up. Medicine, it jacks me up in different ways. There are certain things about me that my uniqueness doesn't fit into any mold. It's the same for you. Your uniqueness, your gentle quietness, your loud rowdiness. Look, the world needs you. And I keep saying it because I feel like some of you listen to these videos and you think that I'm talking to everybody else except you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you because in your circle, there is somebody who is, I feel this right now. There is somebody who is considering suicide. There is someone who's considering aborting a child. There is somebody who's considering putting a baby up for adoption or just leaving the life that they know because they feel inadequate. They feel unloved. Love and support will change the very mindset of people. Look, when I tell you my back alley gangster folks, Keita knows she's one of them. AJ knows that he's one of them. And I remember that back alley, and I call it my back alley experience. Look, we was at the baptismal pool and we need to do something. They was like, you could do it. And I was like, well, I don't really, I don't really think that I'll be able to do that. And they was like, you're going to do it. And you got 5 minutes to get it together because you about to, what? And guess what happened? I didn't have to do it on my own. And it wasn't so much that they just trusted in me. They trusted the God in me. And then when I was able to minister, see, understand that I know a lot of you think like, okay, well, ministry is only in this particular thing. If you can help somebody, that's ministry. The Bible reminds us, and whether it's the Quran as well, you need to be doing good to people, feeding the sick, feeding the homeless, helping other people. The Bible says what we do to the least of these, and maybe you consider yourself the least of these, then do something for yourself. Do something for the other people around you. I love it because I got time to spend recently with one of my mentors and moms. And I was like, well, I'm doing this writing thing and I just feel like I'm behind. And she could have been like, she could have said anything, but thank God she filled with the Holy Ghost. And she said, you're right on time. God is going to make the timing work out. And I just was like, because sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes we just need to know I'm not late. I don't need to rush. I don't need to be in a hurry. But continue to be encouraged to do something. Look, I want to remind you, because as I was thinking, it's like, okay, I'm going live. What's the topic? I thought about small beginnings. understanding that a lot of you are looking to make a big impact, but a pebble even makes the ripple in an ocean. And so you got to change your mindset on what you can't do and focus on the things that you can do. Because when you make the list of the things that you can do, you create positivity in your life and you eradicate that negativity. We got a video for that, dealing with negativity, because it's an important thing for us to do. I love y'all. I know that I'm supposed to be somewhere, so I'm checking my time. Y'all got to get out of here, because look, we good. We got things to do. We got to make sure that as we are under the influence, we are under the correct influence in our life. If it's that man telling you the wrong thing, if it's that wretched woman telling you the wrong thing, look, you have to get from under the influence and understand that your life means more to this entire world, not just your region, not because for every life you impact, that life has an impact on another life. Look, when I understand the fact that me being a mother of 5 kids and now grandmother to almost 6, like, that's just the beginning. We got the foundation to the foundation. And now, like, Lord, if all these kids have 5 kids, y'all better be praying for me. Or pray for them kids, because, look, they think that I'm going to be doing some stuff. They ain't going to be able to find me. I will go ghost on them, and they know it. Under the influence, I make sure that my grandkids are under my influence, because I want to make sure that the things that are in their life, that they understand that they're strong but sensible, that there are decisions that they will make now that will impact their life. I'm talking to my 12-year-old granddaughter like she's a boss. Why? Because she is one. It's not one in the making. When you change the way, I'm not really a fan of all that goo goo gaga talk to kids, because then you got to untrain them to that mess. And a lot of us as adults, we've been so used to people coddling us that now we don't even know how to make good decisions for ourselves. We don't even know how to think straight for the things that are in our life. Look, I love y'all. I know that it's great and amazing things going on in your life. Check yourself. Figure out who you're under the influence from. As always, I end all my videos making an amazing day. I do that on purpose, because when we take control of what our day is going to be, we usually have an opportunity to do more in the world. Under the influence, make sure that you get under your own influence. Direct your thoughts, direct what it is that you're doing in your life in a great and amazing way. I love y'all. I'm trying to learn how to love y'all better. Some of y'all know, okay, I'm going to stop talking right now. Have an amazing day. I love y'all. Under the influence, think about it. Write it down. Write down the things that are good about you. Write down the things that you're confident about. But also pray and meditate on those things that you feel kind of more timid about. And think on and reflect. Reflection's a purpose. On the reasons why you have discounted and disqualified yourself. We got more messages for y'all, but look, just check. Under the influence. Have a great one.